My name is Kathy Griffin. I'm shooting with Tyler Shields, who is wildly talented. This is fake blood, just so you know. I won't give away what we're doing, but Tyler and I are not afraid to do images that make noise.
Really? Tyler and I are not afraid of making images that make a little noise, huh? Really? Well, you know, one videotape statement and one rambling press conference to the contrary. Now, Kathy Griffith, she should have known better. She's a grown woman. She's what, 56 years old? She should have known that this photograph that she and Tyler Shields made of her holding the head of Donald Trump in effigy was going to cause a lot of controversy. And she should have known that the controversy wasn't just going to be on the right, it was going to be on the left. Because this picture just crosses that line of bourgeois morality that the left is a slave to, frankly. And yeah, you know, of course there were going to be people who were going to be pissed off, you know, on the left and the right and the center and everybody in between. So she should have known better. She should have known better, and she should have been better prepared, not just with some like rinky-dink little video apologizing and then some bizarro Nixonian press conference that she gave where she wound up somehow blaming Donald Trump for this whole thing, which is just absurd, you know. It's just funny as hell if you ask me. But I think that the thing that, you know, everybody's been talking about what it means and blah, 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 but, you know, nobody's actually talking about the art of the picture. And I think that's what I object to the most. You see, they're talking about, you know, that she went too far, that this and that, and then this ping-ponging of reactions between the picture and then people's reaction to the picture, and then Kathy Griffith putting out the statement saying that she apologized, and she didn't really apologize. She was only apologizing because it was costing her money. And then, you know, more outrage over the apology because it didn't go far enough, of course, because apologies can never go far enough for a certain breed of people. And then, you know, her rambling press conference where she just seemed to dig herself a deeper hole, you know. I mean, it was just bizarre. But in all this little media interplay, this ping pong of media appearances and what have you, and controversy, nobody has stopped and actually looked at the work, at the actual image. I mean, what we're talking about, more importantly, what it represents. I don't think that people have given it enough thought. Because they looked at it and they were like, oh yeah, Donald Trump's head in effigy, cut off his body, and she's holding it up. But look at the picture. Look at it more carefully. Now, to me, it reminds me of three things. Number one, it reminds me of that statue by, I think it was Cellini, of Perseus holding up the head of Medusa. As you know, in Greek mythology, Medusa was the woman with serpents for hair that whomever gazed upon her was turned to stone. So there was that image that immediately sprung to mind. And also, in terms of composition and the way that Tyler Shields posed Kathy Griffith, it reminded me of American Gothic. That painting, that very famous mid-20th century painting, I think it was, what, 1930, I think it was made, of the two farmers and the stoicism and the almost blankness to them. I found that very interesting. And of course, you can't help escaping the nod to ISIL and how the Islamic State in the Levant and its members, its bloodthirsty members and followers and what have you, have chopped off the heads of their opponents and gleefully held them up for all the world to see. I mean, inevitably, there was that comparison. It was the first that sprung to mind, but on an artistic level, I think American Gothic and the Celine statue really are worth thinking about. But what does it mean when Kathy Griffith, who we all know is an avowed leftist, an avowed cultural Marxist almost, very much in step with the left-leaning cultural media in the United States, what does it mean that she is the one holding up the head of Donald Trump that's been recently decapitated? It seems to me that the obvious analog is here that that left, that monolithic left, is like ISIL. I don't know if Tyler Shields was deliberately trying to go for this, or Kathy Griffin herself was going for it, but it seems that the only interpretation you can make of the picture, of the actual picture, is that Kathy Griffin, just like a member of ISIL, is a member of the left cultural Marxist cultural establishment in the United States. And she is holding up the head of the enemy, Donald Trump. And she, and presumably members of this leftward establishment, are going to chop off the heads of anybody who disagrees. And there's no conversation, there's no dialogue, there's no negotiation. There's only chopping off of people's skulls, separating their heads from their bodies and showing them up as not only a display of their fierceness, but also as a message to all of their enemies. That the left is going to chop heads, and they're going to go after Donald Trump's head. It seems that that's the only message that anybody can sensibly take from this. I'm interested in what you who are watching this video might think. Please put your comments in the description below, because Sargon of Akkad, for instance, was also one of the few people who interpreted the picture as a picture. And he seemed to view it sort of like on a Marxist kind of, like she was a representative of the left and they were going after the dreams of all the people who supported Donald Trump. Which is similar to my analysis, I suppose. But I'm interested in what you have to think about this, because I don't think there's been enough talk about the picture in and of itself. And I wish people would talk more. I wish Kathy Griffin had had more balls and just stood up and said, no, I'm not going to apologize for this. This is freedom of speech. This is what I think. I would have respected her more. If now the entertainment ground opens up and swallows her whole and we never hear from her again, I would not miss her, because she has no courage. She doesn't have the courage of her convictions. She only backed off the image when she realized how unpopular it was. And that's cowardice as far as I'm concerned. If she'd stood up and said, I back this image 100%, because that's what she did in that behind the scenes video that I quoted from at the beginning of this post. She was behind the image. She supported it. She was gleeful in diving into this particular end of the pool. And then when it turned out to be a lot deeper than she thought it was, and when she didn't get the accolades that she thought were going to come her way, then she backed off. When it started hurting her wallet, then she backed off. No, that's not how the game is played, my dear. If you go, you have to go for broke. Yeah? You can't half-ass your way. And people like me will despise you more for backing off. And in point of fact, your enemies will despise you more. And your friends. Because your friends will realize that you're not somebody dependable. That when the shit starts hitting the fan, you'll back off with some mealy-mouthed excuse. Yeah, and your enemies will know that you are a coward that can be pushed around by the faux outrage that they're inflicting on you. No, she should have stuck by her guns, but, you know. Look, at the end of the day, in a year or two, she'll be back. You know, she's like, she's like a spring mushroom. They always come back, you know. They never really go away. But she could have been interesting. But anyway, I'd like to hear what you have to say about this particular image. I'm really curious. Hi. If you like this video, please click the like button. And if you like this video and others like it on my channel, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe. It'll make me so happy, and I will feel that my life has meaning, finally.